quick and sharp. So, okay, so let's talk about the Gmail booking calendar. Now, I'm going to tell you dead straight that I have not checked to see what is actually on my list. Let's have a look here. All right, cool. So a couple of weeks ago, we did the Gmail calendar, remembering that one Gmail account is attached to these 9 little squares. So when we click the 9 little squares, it'll open up over here and you can click onto the calendar. Okay. And thank you to Jim. Jim did share some other really cool things in the VIP group as well around this. So if you were to manually book an appointment, meaning that somebody doesn't have a booking calendar, okay, you can see how crazy mine looks. What you would do is you would go in and you would choose a slot and you would click on it. Okay, you can do it on your phone as well. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right, test. Okay. You want to make sure that you go in and you just double check that the day and the time's right, including the AM and the PM, because I have made a mistake with this before and it's blocked out a whole day. So you definitely want to make sure that that's free. Now, because Google is Google, remember it's always going to have it as a preference that they use their stuff. So that's why over here it says add Google Meet video conferencing. So if you didn't have Zoom and you were wanting to use Google Meet, by all means, you can use Google Meet. And there is a recording on Google Meet inside the VIP group as well. I think the difference with Google Meet is that we couldn't record it. So you could share screen, but we couldn't record it. That was one of the biggest things, but it is free and it is unlimited. Now you can add a location. So for example, if I was doing it at Flex Workspace, I could actually go in and add the address for Flex Workspace in there. There we go. You can see it actually comes up. So the address would come up. You could even put a description or attachments in there. So say, for example, you wanted them to fill out a form beforehand, or you wanted to prepare them for the meeting or let them know what was going on. You could actually put this in here saying, I'm going to meet you on Google Meet, or I'm going to meet you on Zoom, or I'm going to call you. Please be ready. This is a document. Can you have this document in front of you? Or here's your workbook. So you could add all that in there as well. And then when you click on it, you can do a couple of things. So bearing in mind, you can have a couple Gmail calendars and you can actually sync them all together. And that's what this option is over here. You can also color code them as well. I'm a bit slack with that now, but in the early days, I was a lot better. This one's pretty important, okay? When you go in, if you don't want someone else to book at that time, it means you have to mark yourself as busy. However, if it's just a reminder to feed the dog and you want to put the reminder in, then you would go in and you'd mark it as free. So it would still be on your calendar to feed the dog, but it wouldn't be taking up a slot for somebody else to book. Now, for those of you who've got booking calendars, this is really important because your booking calendars sync to this if you're using Gmail. But Apple and all of them work very similar as well. Okay. You can go in, you can set yourself notifications as well. So to see when you're busy or not busy. And then there's an option over here where you can make it a Zoom meeting. And if your Zoom is connected to your Gmail, you can do it. Now, I think it is harder on a phone to do it. However, on a desktop, it's definitely a lot easier to do it. And all these options are here. Just remember to click the down arrows for each time. Now, this is the really important part. Because if I wanted to invite you to come in and do this, there we go. I could go in and I could go, right, invite Alison Dunlop, and that's her email address. Now, when I save this, it's actually going to send Alison a calendar saying, Chantal's invited you to this. Are you going to say yay or nay? And if Alison says yes, it'll be on both our calendars as yes. And if she says no, I'm going to get a notification to reschedule. Okay. There is also an option over here where you can actually invite others, guest permission. So I can actually put it on and allow her to invite other people and say, look, if you want to invite other people, I will allow it. So if, especially for people like in workplaces, if they want more than one person coming on, we can just go invite others. Okay. If you don't want to do the Google Meet, you can just turn it off. All right. Does anyone have any questions with that before I move on to the next thing? Cool. Right. So no questions. We're all happy with that. So before I move on to the next thing, we'll just have a little smile because I'm taking a picture. So smile.